Video, I want to talk about why you should read books. And it's kind of interesting how, it's kind of funny how these days, not many people read books. Like these days, everyone just scrolls on social media, watch Netflix, watch movies. And I'm not saying like watching movies is a bad thing or watching Netflix. But I think like, it's kind of interesting how like, it's pretty rare to see people read books. And someone like myself, I try to read like an hour a day or 30 minutes a day. Like, for example, today I was reading a book on how to get better at pitching to clients, right? And what I learned from reading books personally from my own personal experience is I find books has helped me learn so much about how the things work. This could be like fiction or non-fiction books. Personally, I read a lot of non-fiction books, so I read a lot of like self-development books, business books, entrepreneur books, marketing, sales books. But at the same time, I want to maybe start reading more fiction books because fiction books can generally help you improve your creativity as a person. But someone like me, right? The reason why I actually got into reading books is because I was watching a YouTube video on I was watching this particular video on this comedian guy named Friendly Jordies. So he's an Australian comedian, but he's got a second YouTube channel which is based like a self help type content, right? And as I was watching that YouTube video, I watched it. I Google on YouTube saying, should you go to university, right? And basically, he pretty much said that you only go to uni if you want to become a doctor, lawyer, engineer, or you go in there to network. That's literally it. And he said that the most valuable thing you should do is go to the university library. And when you get to the library, read as much books as you can. Because if you can read as many books as you can, you will have the knowledge of a certain person. That's what he literally said, right? Well, pretty much he was technically implying that. And now these days, since I've been reading books for like probably 5 years, it has generally helped me build the success that it has helped me in life, such as understanding how to get clients, how to understand how to run a business, understand how to build relationships with people, understand how people do things, understanding how the world works. Because reading books has generally changed my perspective on life. It generally has perspective how I see the world, such as how I do things, how I do certain things. Now, I'm not gonna do like a book recommendations on like which books I recommend. Like I can make another video on that later. But what I'm saying is that what I learned from reading books is books help you be more in the present moment. It helps you actually like observe information as you're reading it. Because the problem with social media and the today's modern world of the internet is that these days people's attention span is shit, right? Like they can't even focus on they can't even pay attention these days. That's how shit people's attention span is. And ever since I've been reading books, I think reading books has generally helped me be in the present moment, helped me actually like, you know, listen to people more. Because ever like even understand how things work. Because when I was in high school, right, I used to struggle to pay attention in class, right? I used to pay attention to like what the teacher's saying. Sometimes I'll get distracted. Sometimes I couldn't stay focused. And ever since I started reading books has helped me stay in the present moment. It has helped me like engage what is happening in the moment. Because when you read a book, right, you have to intentionally, read it in a way where you can actually like understand what the book is talking about. Because now these days, people don't have attention span to read like 10 pages of a book. It's kind of weird how people don't have that skill to do it. And another good note about reading books is that reading books actually help you understand what the author is saying. So for example, right, let's say on the lines of if you want to learn about, I don't know, business, right? Let's say you want to learn business from the most successful entrepreneurs, right? And if you just literally just read like their autobiography, you can literally get the best information of that person. Literally, you can. Think about it, right? some of the books you read, right, you can get the best knowledge of. Because the problem with like short form content and YouTube in general is it's kind of broad, like because like the information is very broad, right? Like you don't really get like the best information, right? But if you want to understand like a certain topic, let's say you want to go deep into like business or you want to get deep into psychology, right? The thing about reading books is that it goes more deeper. It actually teaches you more like the insights of how you understand those certain topics. And this can be applied to like anything, honestly. This could be applied for whatever topic you want to learn, such as it could be like, I don't know, for me, like business, photography, science, philosophy, history, because most of the books, because think about it, most of all like the valuable information are all regurgitated from books. Like literally, like for example, it's kind of funny. I remember one time when I was reading Atomic Habits, right, by James Clear. As I was reading it, I felt like I already knew that book already. Like, I felt like I already read it because a lot of YouTubers and content creators regurgitate the same thing from books. Like for example, all this valuable information everyone talks about, like all these like these deep sayings or like all these like manifestations or like all these like motivational quotes. All these are regurgitated from books. So if you want the right resources, just read books, man. Like books is probably the best way in terms of like getting the right information. Like for example, I've got a bunch of books right here I've read in the past. So, got a whole stack. Got a whole stack here, bro. So, I've been reading Psychology of Sales by Brian Tracy. So this book is a good book. Learn sales. I also write down notes, etc. So I got all these personal notes. And then I've read this one, Sell Like Crazy by Sabi Subi. So this is a book about marketing. And then Purple Cow, which is about how do you stand out from the market. And then What's Your Dream by Simon Squared. I got a bunch of books I can go on. Like, I'm not going to fucking flex my book addiction basically. But fuck, I just dropped something. But what I'm saying is that when you read books, right, you actually learn so much. Like you learn so much valuable information from people who've been doing this themselves. It's like a, I don't know, it's like a cheat code when you read books. That's what I see reading books as. It's like a cheat code. Like for example, let's say you want to read a book on, I don't know, business, right? Like how to run a successful business. Let's say if you read a book on a successful business owner. Let's say, for example, like I don't know, a few months ago I was reading the author on the founder of Four Seasons. So Four Seasons is like a very successful hotel chain. And as I was reading it, you can learn so much valuable information. I'm like, fuck, that's some really valuable information. And you can pretty much implement that in your own business or your own life. Like, if you want to learn from really successful people, read their books, man. Like, for example, if you want to learn, like, anything, like any topic, it's good to read as much as you can because you become a bit more you become a bit more knowledgeable. You understand how the world works. And also, it helps you improve your vocabulary, like understanding how to articulate your words more, how to use certain type of words. I feel like this video, my vocabulary has been pretty shit, which I'm still working on it. But what I'm saying is that the more you read, the more you start to learn how to like talk in certain ways, how to articulate your words more, how to talk in different certain topics. Or even like when you read fiction books help you improve your like imagination more, like understanding how to like come with like more like visual ideas, more like reading books is such an underrated thing. Like no one doesn't read books these days because now people just watch short form content, like watch TikTok and Instagram Reels. So honestly, if you start reading books now, you'll thank your future self. So that's what I got to say. All right. Have a good one. See you. Bye.